The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio 1, WTLC AM 1310, 95.1 FM, and its management.
All right, is this thing on? Is this thing on? All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is on. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day. Cold, crisp day in Indianapolis, the capital city. Once the second largest city in the American Midwest region, dropped to third behind Columbus, Ohio. How
Yes,
about that?
we have. Yes.
Chicago is the largest city in the American Midwest region, 12 states in the region.
It is.
Indianapolis is still an important city. Maybe one day it is possible that you will be able to catch a high-speed rail from Indianapolis to the West Coast, the East Coast. Plans are on the board for that to happen. Will it come to fruition in our lifetime? I hope so. It would create a lot of jobs. Had I won the mayor's race. That's why I know so much about
I'm sorry.
That's why. Are you laughing? That's why. Is it that laughable?
No, it's not. I mean,
But I found out, I learned that this Dr. Moore laughing. He's not laughing at me.
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing with you.
But it would create a lot of jobs.
Yeah, it would have created a lot of jobs. We got to get the mile square taken care of first before we do anything else.
Yeah, well, that would help.
Yeah.
But America, in America, we're the only so-called superpower nation in the world.
Yeah.
That doesn't have one of the only ones that doesn't have a high-speed rail, and there's a lot of people who have held that back. But I think we're going to see that at some point. But anyway, Indianapolis would be one of the stations whereby you could catch that train.
Yeah.
And it would be wonderful. And I know we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but this is on my mind. And it would be wonderful because you could work in Chicago and live in Indianapolis, and the commute would be less than an hour.
Yeah.
With a high-speed rail. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, we are downtown in
and Chicago's a pretty progressive city to work in, they say.
Yeah. Cost of living's higher.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So I guess
state and everything.
But I guess if you had that many people trying to live in Indianapolis, the cost of living here would probably go up.
Yeah. Because
the oligarchs have to get that money.
Yeah.
And I was in the store the other day, Dr. Moore, and looked down, and there was a pack of M&Ms, the peanuts.
$3.49.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah. We used to go to Mr. Carter's corner store at 12th and Northwestern many years ago, and they were only a nickel a pack, and there was no air in the package.
Yeah. So you get fewer peanuts.
And much air. And a hefty price.
Yeah.
It's called greed.
Kind of sounds like some organizations.
Yeah, some greed.
Anyway, welcome to Unity in the Community. We got Rita Green on the controls. She is the most capable.
Miss Rita's with us today.
Downtown on the Circle, and it is beautiful down here in Indianapolis. Look out the window. We see the memorial out there, which they have the Christmas tree around Christmas time on that. But anyway, we are here, and it is beautiful. It is cold, but it's beautiful. Temperatures will be going up some. We're glad to have you here with us. And the number to call if you want to be connected to the show on today is over there by the tripod. I think it's
317-972-3008. 317-972-3008.
Thank you. I got to memorize that one. I was on the 239-1310 for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So that one you could ask me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I could give it to you. But
yeah.
We'll get this one down too. So we're here today to talk to you, and want to officially open the show up with prayer. Dr. Morphy, lead us in
God, it's again, we come asking for guidance today for a conversation that will help all of us to see you more clearly in the city in which we live in. We pray for the family of Sister Jean Burrow, who went to be with the Lord, and Brother Farrell Henderson, a good friend of ours. And we pray for those families. We ask that you would give them strength to meet the days ahead. We pray for Mother Billy Bro and all she's done for us. And now it's our time to do for her. Bless us, bless the show. Give Dr. Jackson the insight to make this an effective hour in the city of Indianapolis. In Jesus' name and for our sake, believe it. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Dr. Moore. And in the first part of our show, we want to talk about some things that you're doing out there on the West Side.
Man,
but
today.
And then in the second part, we want to talk about the shifting landscape of Black leadership in the city of Indianapolis. And those of you who are listening, you can call in. There is a shifting and has been over the last several years of Black leadership in Indianapolis. We want to talk about that a little bit. Amos Brown, who used to do Afternoons with Amos back in the day, if you will, he used to always talk about Black leadership and who were the leaders, the emerging leaders, and how effective organizations were in the city of Indianapolis. We'll talk about that in our second segment, but right now I want to talk about something that's going on the west side of Indianapolis that certainly is reverberating throughout the city. Dr. Moore, talk to us about
Man, I tell you, thank you so much, Dr. Jackson, for giving us the opportunity. Today, man, starting at 5, the doors are going to open about 5:15, 5:15. We're going to have a referendum, an hour of referendum discussion with Robin Winston. It's going to be at our church today, talking about referendum for Pike Township. Not only that, then after that, at about the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to be having the Men in the Fire free. It's going to be a free concert, free to the public. But
it's a great group.
Yeah, but bless us as you go out the door, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, we're going to trying to get people registered. That is the main objective today. Is the church is becoming the seat of voters registration. And so all of it is doing that on the west side of Indianapolis today and having some fellowship. HB's going to be there today. He's going to be there today.
Jumbo
Love is going to be there today talking to candidates and people who are coming in. And Dr. Green is going to be there helping with the Jumbo Love show. They're going to be doing it live right there in the North X at the Olivet Baptist Church. And if you want to get some sunglasses for the eclipse, we have those there. Marion County Public Health Department will be there giving out cellular sunglasses. And not only that, the Indiana State Police will be giving gun safety items tonight. And so we're going to be having a great time. It's going to be just a few hours of fellowship with community, information from Robin Winston, and voter registration. We're grateful that people are going to be participating in this particular moment because we have a ballot, something on the ballot in Pike Township that is needs our urgent attention, and we need people to understand everything about it. There's an upper ballot and a lower ballot. We need you to address the lower ballot this year.
Referendums coming up
May 7th.
May 7th. For those who may not be aware, because after the mayor's race is over and the prosecutor's race is over, sometime people kind of start looking away from politics. Yeah. But this referendum is a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal for any school district because we have a complex financial system as it relates to education in the General Assembly. And that's why referendums are in one reason why referendums are the way that they are. And there's some things on the ballot that disencourage voters. And so we're going to dissect the ballot, a sample type of ballot, and look at the referendum language at the bottom of that particular ballot and show the people the difference between the truth and a lie right there at the Olivet Baptist Church.
It's 4141
North High School Road, the church out on the road.
Yeah, that's where I grew up, out there on the west side of Indianapolis. So make plans to get out there. Doors open at 5 o'clock p.m. And to support what's happening out there. Men in the Fire, I think that's the group that does the intro, outro for the morning fellowship.
They tell me I'm the only one that has my own song,
really?
In the city of Indianapolis, but I don't believe that. But Men in the Fire have done our theme song, and God's Plan is the #1 hit in my mind and always will be. Courtesy of Rodney Stepp production. Rodney Stepp is a musical icon.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time just for the community. Palm Saturday in Pike Township is going to be phenomenal. Be there.
Yeah, it is Palm Sunday weekend. Again, Dr. Moore is just giving you a flyover of what's going to be happening at the Olivet Missionary Baptist Church, 4141 High School Road. Any food going to be there?
The food is going to be the knowledge that we're going to receive, and
For your mind, not your belly.
yes, right. And then the spiritual songs and hymns that are going to be sung by Men in the Fire, and the upbeat flavor that they're going to give us. That's what it's going to be all about.
All right. So that's taking place on today.
Today.
The referendum is so important, y'all. And Dr. Moore, a lot of times, and we've talked about this before, people believe that the referendum is for building or construction or capital improvement. This one is a little different.
Organizational.
It's kind of talk to us about that.
Organizational referendums. There are two types of referendums. This is organizational, and one is capital. This particular school district is asking for is a organizational, and that will address the infrastructure, human infrastructure, if I could say it that way, for teachers, raises, custodians, secretaries, etc., and those support systems that make up the school district. And I have to say that's custodians because the people are concerned about that. Systems, people who keep the system rolling.
Yeah.
We need to also make sure that they're a part of this as well. And all of that is what it's all about. I think we're going to be trying to do $4.5 million for loss of learning and some other things in that particular area, about $1 million for 8 years for security and safety programs within the school, and $9 million for 8 years for recruitment, et cetera. And it's all in the plan of a referendum for that particular township, which would be Piketown.
But certainly need the people.
Yeah, the people
to agree.
Yeah, we need the people to agree. In the season of voter suppression, no oligarch can okay this. No oligarch can okay this. It is tax dollars, and it's a tax dollar that you have to approve through the voting process. And we hope people will come out and check in Pike Township, check their registration, change their address, do whatever you need to do, because this is also an important year for a presidential election in November. Yeah. So we got to be get ready for. We need to have a dynamic primary. We need to get above at least 40% in the primary this year, and I hope we can do that because it's going to be a serious year for the world and world consciousness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I hope we can get that done. And it's just not about the referendum, but it's about the lives of our seniors, Social Security. Everything is on the line in this election, in my estimation.
And this will truly be, of course, they say all elections are historical, and they are.
Yeah.
But this one will be a truly historical election.
It will be a truly historical election, but we have to get communities to understand that all politics are local. And you have a right as a registered voter to shift politics in your decisions. And I hope people will begin to recognize that those who came through the fire and the flood to give us the opportunity to vote is very imperative and serious. And we got to start taking advantage of that, because everything we got in the Black community came by a vote.
Yeah.
When you look at it, everything. So everything we got came from the Supreme Court. And everything we're going to lose is going to go through the Supreme Court as well. So we just got to understand that.
And we have extraordinary lethargy with regard to voting.
Yeah.
In Marion County, there's some 600,000.
Oh, yeah, right.
Registered.
Yeah, registered. Estimated 600 in Marion County alone.
That's a lot of people.
And we can't even get 250,000 to vote in a way in primaries. We need to do that. We need to shift the ideology for primaries, because if you can shift a primary, you can shift any election you want to shift.
And it's easier to vote than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because it used to be
you can go anywhere in the country. You can go anywhere outside the country
in the county
and vote.
Yeah, it used to be you couldn't do that.
Yeah,
you had to vote right there in your district,
in your precinct,
precinct.
Yeah,
and the lines would be long, and you had to get up early and try to get in line and do it before work, or try to get off work and rush over there and get it done. But now, and there's early voting and there's mail-in and all of that. So it would be wonderful to get over 50%.
Yeah, it would be. And you know, people say, well, that's not, it is doable.
Mm-hmm.
People just have to make a choice to do it.
Yeah.
And I think when we understand that, you know, I have to vote for my grandchildren. I do.
Yeah.
I have to vote for children.
Because it's going to affect them.
It's going to affect them. I have to vote for children.
And not voting at all
is dangerous.
Yeah. Some people say that not voting is a protest.
Yeah. Some people say that. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it's find out what's going on, find out who's on the ballot. There's always somebody to vote for.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the nominee, there's write-in candidates. And I think we're going to be talking more about that as we go forward.
Mm-hmm.
But in both parties, and there are other parties, not considered major parties, but at least in the major parties, you may say, well, Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee. Donald Trump is the Republican nominee,
mm-hmm.
and that's all you have. But that's not true.
No.
If you dig a little bit deeper, there are other people who would like to be president as well. And I'm watching this election, not
mm-hmm.
more because one of the Kennedys is running as an independent.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's going to be major.
Yeah, it's going to be major.
Very telling too.
Yeah, it's very telling, and because we are a country of two parties, or a system of two parties, basically, and we don't fight the independent ideology. I don't fight any other ideology about voting, but it's going to be something to see.
Yeah, if he does really well.
Yeah, he can affect a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
If people are disenfranchised with the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and the Republican Party and Donald Trump,
yeah.
and they go with Kennedy as an independent, it's really going to be interesting to see how that unfolds.
And it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. And then the vetting starts. Mm-hmm. I think every individual who is a competent voter, who wants to be a competent, sincere voter, needs to vet candidates. And if they have somebody that they know that knows the candidate and can give some information on the candidate that could help them, it's great to do that. And I think it's important. I didn't start vetting candidates till later on in my life. I mean, because sometimes you can get caught up in the ideology of someone telling you who to vote for.
And we'll give you this little tidbit as we go to break. You can go to voteyourvalues.org. I think it's still .org.
It's still .org. Yeah,
voteyourvalues.org. And almost everybody who wants to be anything
is on there
in the nation. You can find out how they voted, who they voted for, how did they vote on this issue, how did they vote on that issue. So if you really want to be an educated voter, use that resource on theissues.org. And you'll be able to, that's going to help you to vote. We got to take a quick break. Stay with us. We are streaming as well on Facebook. We are streaming on Twitter, now known as X. We are on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, and we'll be streaming tonight with Mr. Winston tonight at Oliver to get the information out in the township.
And with that, we'll be back after this.
Reality Radio. Well, it is now March, which brings us the changing of seasons. March brings us spring and daylight savings time, a revitalization of life, a fresh and intentional start to new birth, new directions, and new priorities. The reality is 2024 provides us opportunity to change the narrative and move the needle. When the founders of this nation wrote that, quote, "The purpose of government is to create a more perfect union," end of quote. It was an admission that America had flaws, but through the election of the best candidates, our country could be improved. So this March, let's spring into identifying the candidates who will best represent our needs, who will champion our causes, and who will remain loyal to our priorities. Investigate the candidates you might even have heard the most about. Find out exactly what they have actually done to create a more perfect union. This is Reality Radio with Kathy Hughes. What's your reality? What's your reality? What's your reality?
Quality care, remarkable people. Eskenazi Health is looking for dedicated professionals who have a passion for their community. Named as one of the best employers in the state by Forbes magazine, and the #1 health system in Indiana for community benefit by the Lown Institute. Eskenazi Health provides excellent benefits, competitive pay, and unwavering leadership support. Learn how a career at Eskenazi Health can benefit you by visiting eskenazihealth.edu/careers.
Find furniture, kitchen appliances, flooring, and more at Chacharas Chuchin, your discount superstore. Make your house a home with these great deals. Bryant vinyl flooring, each box only $50. Ceramic flooring, only $5 each box. Bathroom vanity with sink starting at only $250. Kitchen cabinets starting at only $150. Call Chacharas Chuchin at 317-964-1570 and stop in at 10202 Chacharas Chuchin, East Washington Street, next to Washington Square Mall.
Child Advocates, breaking ground in Indiana as the only agency that directly represents youth who face abuse and neglect in child welfare cases as their attorney. Breaking ground as the only child advocacy agency with an award-winning race equity program for years that has been interrupting racism for children. We go where others fear to tread. We won't stop seeking justice, equity, and safety to build a better world for children. Join us, your voice, their future. Learn more at childadvocates.net.
Paid for by Child Advocates.
Hey, it's Griff from Get Up Mornings. You need to book a cabin on the Tom Joyner Foundation Fantastic Voyage. There is nothing like ship church in the Caribbean Sea. Yep, you heard me correctly. Ship church. It takes place every morning with all kinds of special guests. But what does the cabin price include? Well, it includes all concerts, comedy shows, cabin taxes and gratuities, daily breakfast, lunch and dinner, theme night parades, shuttle service between the airport and the pier, and a portion may be a tax write-off. Now, that's an incredible value. Get your cabin today by calling 214-495-1963 or booking online at fantasticvoyage2024.com. Oh, did we forget to tell you about the daily workout sessions like hip-hop cardio, yoga, line dancing, seminars with topics on wealth, health, and business? Go to fantasticvoyage2024.com for more information. See you on board at Ship Church April 27th through May 4th.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
All right.
Ooh,
All right, y'all. Is this thing on?
Yeah, man, it's on.
You were hitting a note over
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's every now and then.
You can sing.
I used to do that many years ago, and I'm still 39. Don't look like it. But
singing preacher.
Yeah, no, I don't know about all that.
Good afternoon again, everybody. Good to have you with us on this afternoon. 317-972-3008. 317-972-3008 is the number to call if you'd like to be connected to the show on this afternoon. We are also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, now known as X, and Twitch. I'm going to get Instagram in here eventually, but this platform we stream on is kind of difficult to do that. Anyway, Dr. Moore, after the show, of course, we're downtown now. We used to be on East St. Joseph, and I think we're downtown now. And right next door to here is the Fort Wayne, I think it's called Fort Wayne Chocolate.
Yeah, you took me in there, and you tried to tempt me. Yeah, it's a dangerous place. And I bought some of those clustered turtles.
Were they good?
They were. The one was.
The one.
And the one was enough to tell me I couldn't eat the other 5. And so,
get your grandkids get those.
Oh yeah, my friend got them. I have one of my administrators who is a sweetaholic. I made sure he had them, and he. Oh, thank you.
Well, they've got some good stuff over there. It's right next door to the station.
It is. Yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We start out talking about the referendum. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. And then in the last half of the show, we're going to be talking about the shifting landscape of Black leadership in the city of Indianapolis. And again, the late Amos Brown used to talk about this quite a bit. And of course, one of the giants has just gone on to be with the Lord with Gene Bro.
Yeah, Senator Gene Bro was a unique female as it relates to the work that she was doing. I've learned to have more patience with our state senators and state representatives based on the fact that they're fighting every year with a supermajority. And when I first, began to look at it, I was kind of, say something. I mean, you got to say something, but and they do. But it's just so difficult. And for instance, like the education piece, that is, when you look at the education piece, it's been in the hands of the other aisle, on the other side of the aisle, for almost 15 years. And so when you look at the education piece for the last 15 years, Robert Vaining is the cause of our education, along with some other colleagues, for it being in the situation that it's in. Nobody else will say that because they're afraid to speak truth to power. And you have to look at that, and all of the things that he's done as the committee chair of education, he's ruined education as we know it to be effective in Indiana.
And speaking of education, we do have a referendum coming up in Pike Township.
And it's the voter's voice. It is the voter's voice. That's why we want you to register today. Check on your registration. If you shipped it to another address, you can fix your address today at the Olivet Baptist Church after 5:30 today. And you can also hear referendum language coming from Robin Winston today. The Robin Winston Hour will start at 5:30. He'll be doing an interview with HB. Jumbo Love today as well. And we're going to have a great time just getting the community in tune with the shift in education. And the shift of education does start with the human infrastructure of professionals and those who are the support systems of a district.
And I like the fact that there's money in there to give teachers raises. Now, how long will that last?
If it is approved, if we get out and vote and it's approved, 2025 will be as quickly as possible for that to transpire, and then it'll go for 8 years. And so in the three categories, we're asking for 4.4 million in one category, loss of learning, et cetera, then recruitment of teachers and professional training and all that. I don't have it before me, but I know what I'm talking about, but I just don't have it before me. And that'll be 9 million for 8 years. And then the security piece for school system is $1 million a year. So you're looking at somewhere between 14.5 and 15 million for 8 years. And that's going to be something that's going to deal with the infrastructure. It's going to bring better teachers. It's going to bring better support systems. It's going to bring everything we need, I think, if administrated properly. We need to put that in there. You have a lot of people who are scared to talk about that. It's one thing to get the referendum, but it's another thing to have it administrated properly. There's so many people afraid to talk about the administrator. They'll talk about a preacher before they talk about somebody else.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to do. And there must be accountability after the approval, and I believe God's going to give it to Pike Township, accountability for where those dollars are going to go according to those three areas.
And talk about the security piece, which is so important, helping to make our schools more impervious to active shooter events and different things like that. Because if the shooter can't get in the first place, then that's where we want to be. And I've always thought it's just so important to get bulletproof glass, glass that you can't break so easily.
Yeah.
Because in those situations, seconds count. We talk about minutes, but in those situations, seconds count. So the longer it takes a bad actor to get into a building or to get access.
Just like the Broad Ripple shooting this past week. I mean, it doesn't take many. Once a revolver or a gun is in the hands of a person who wants to use it to harm them, it doesn't take time. Is of the essence. And so I think in many cases when we understand this, there's some things you cannot do as it relates to security when it comes to school systems, but there's a lot of things you can do. And I think this referendum will if the dollars are put in those areas, will serve You're talking about $8 million for security. I think it ought to serve the district well. I hope it will.
It will. I when I was more involved in public safety, I'm still involved to some degree, but when I was kind of a public safety junkie, if you will, maybe that's not the best expression for it, but just really doing a lot of research. One of the studies I did was on target hardening, and that involves just what it says, making it harder for people to penetrate the target. In the UK, there was a really nice study, and of course they implemented a lot of those things that we do now here in America with lights and cameras and different things like that, because people who want to do wrong are looking for the softest target possible, the less they have to do what they want to do. So I applaud you all out in Pike, and I champion your efforts with all of that's going into that referendum, and also, of course, the security piece of it.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Our precious assets are in those schools. Our children.
I mean, teachers wouldn't have students to teach if students are not there and safe. Because parents, when we drop our children and our grandchildren off to a system, we're putting their lives in these administrators, teachers,
to keep them safe too.
To keep them safe for the next 6 to 7 hours, and things can happen and transpire. And we've seen we have become a nation of school shootings, and not only we become a nation of school shootings, we become a nation of a lot of things on our school campuses all across the country. And security is very, very primal to me. It might not be to other people, but it is. The more we can create a deterrent to crime, the better off education is going to be. The place of learning is going to be.
Yeah, because generally our public safety partners get out there within a few minutes.
Yeah.
But 3 or 4 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
You got somebody, like you said earlier, with a long gun or a revolver or something like that, with ammunition and clips and all the things that are out there. So on May 7th, you'll have the opportunity to make a difference.
Yeah, please make a difference in the Pike Township area. We need you to do that because you are the older card in this. You are the authority that will spring forth resources to make our district strong.
And much of what you need to know will be disseminated on this evening.
Yes.
At around about 5:30.
About 5:30. Mr. Robin Winston is going to be there with.
Tell us about Robin.
He is no stranger to the city of Indianapolis. He has worked in the realm of politics for so many years. I consider him now a champion of public education because his company is working very hard to create the environment of approvals and marketing for communities to understand the seriousness of referendums. I think he's done a great job with Pike. I think that his company is the group. It's the WT group, Winston Terrell Group, and they're doing a great job so far. There's some things I'd like to see take place, a little bit earlier, but I have nothing to do with that, But, when you've been a pastor, you know that if you want to do something in November, you got to start in the prior year or 6 months ahead.
You had good pastoral training.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, if you want to do, and then that's where I make that statement from is that pastoral training. I say, well, if I want to do something if I want to do my church anniversary in November, I've got to start 4 months ahead of time. At least 4 months ahead of time, disseminating a little literature as we go along. And then when I get to that 60 to 45 days prior to, it has to be robust.
We just had a leadership conference.
Yes, same thing.
Micro leadership
conference.
Right there.
You just had one. But I'm just one. And people like what you're doing. They just don't like who's doing it sometimes.
Yeah, well, you do it well. I've seen it up close.
Yeah.
And I champion and applaud you on the community work.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
You're on the school board out there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people may wonder why you know as much as you do. Even if you weren't on the school board,
I would know.
I think you would know it.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know you a little bit. But it's happening at 5:30 at 4141 North High School Road at the Olivet Missionary Baptist Church. Robin Winston
is going to, we call it the Robin Winston Hour, 5:30 to about a quarter.
Talking about the referendum.
Talking about the referendum. HB is going to be interviewing people. Jumbo Love is going to be in the North X. We're going to also be giving some sunglasses for the eclipse. Marion County Public Health Department is going to be there. The state police are going to be giving gun.
And the eclipse is coming up in April.
Yeah, April, yes. And man, we're going to have a great time, man. We want the community to come out and be a part of it. And you know what? Numbers don't bother Wayne Moore. If, God has told me this. He says, all you have to do is create the space for information. It's not up to you to make people come. And I'm cool with that. I mean, and I love that particular spirit God has given me about that. And I just do what God tells me to do. And if you don't respond to it, that's up to you.
And if you would, save me a pair of those glasses.
I got you covered.
Note of that. I'd like
I got you covered.
Because this only comes around. I think they said every 100 years.
Yeah, and we're expecting over 750 people in this city. We were able to give Deer Run, one of our schools that are close to our church, over 600 pair of glasses from the Marion County Public Health Department. School 109, we're able to give them 300 pair. We have 400 pair in our church. We're going to be giving out. Then the Marion County Public Health Department is going to be there tonight, free.
They're free. Specialized glasses.
Specialized glasses. If you don't have these glasses and you want to see the eclipse, you're going to be in trouble when you get through trying to see the eclipse.
And don't look at it.
And do not look at it. No, it will damage your vision.
Yeah.
Damage your vision.
Don't do that. And there are a lot of people who are kind of being led astray by all of the scare tactics that's on the social media.
Yeah.
That, it's just going to be all kind of anarchy and everything is going to fall apart But stock up food but you have to understand there are a lot of people out there and they're fear mongers and they want you to go out and spend money.
Well, you got to understand when we look at the only eclipse that I know that had that type of issue and concern was the eclipse that the day that Jesus died.
Yeah.
The earth rock and reeled and the moon hemorrhaged. God had total participation. Not only did he cause it, but he had total participation. Now, God is causing this eclipse, but he's not going to have the type of participation he had that day.
I don't think we could handle that.
No, we couldn't.
The dead got up, walking around. It was a resurrection that day.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
All right, y'all. We got to take a quick break. Going to be moving into a little bit something different. 317-972-3008. Again, that's 317-972-3008. If you'd like to chime in on what we're talking about right now. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're talking about the shifting landscape of Black leadership in Indianapolis. We'll be back after these messages.
Don't miss Resurrection Weekend at Light of the World Christian Church. This explosive weekend kicks off on Friday, March 29th at 7 p.m. with a musical portrayal of The Passion featuring the University of Arkansas Inspirational Chorale. Then climaxes on Sunday, March 31st at 10:30 a.m. featuring the Light of the World Music and Sacred Arts Ministry, the University of Arkansas Inspirational Chorale, and a message of hope from Pastor Janae Pitts Murdoch. Meet us at Light of the World Christian Church, 4646 North Michigan Road. For more information, visit lovelwcc.org or call us at 317-254-5922.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area, featuring a razor with patented irritation defense bar and skincare regimen that's dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Consider the Crossroads of America Council BSA Discovery Day Camp for your kids this summer. Based on the Skip and Alex Lange Innovation Center, Discovery Day Camp is open to the public and has 3 different discovery tracks to choose from. Your camper will also participate in Camp Belzer favorites like obstacle courses, the maze, BB guns, archery, swimming, science experiments, crafts, and much more. Discovery Day Camp serves the youth aged 5 to 10 years old. Get more information and register at campbelzer.org. That's skipbelzer.org.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt.
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt.
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Ooh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness. From my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
WTOC AM, W236CR Indianapolis, the home for Indy's favorite gospel music, ministries, community discussions, and more. We are Praise AM 1310, 95.1 FM, Indy's inspiration station.
All right, y'all, this thing is on.
Yeah, it's on.
And we are on right here in the beautiful city of Indianapolis, capital city. And we're glad to have you. Joining me today is Dr. Wayne Moore.
Yeah, happy to be
Always
with you.
good to have you.
Yeah, it is. Man, we do it.
Fourth Saturdays.
Fourth Saturdays we do it, yeah.
And then I'm with you Wednesdays.
Thursdays.
On the Morning Fellowship.
On the Morning Fellowship. #1 morning show at the 8:05 hour.
It's your podcast.
Yeah.
Dealing with local and state stuff, but mostly local
stuff.
And
yeah, both.
And you got some great guests that come on there.
Yeah, I have some people. The Great Table is a very selective table. And I have people of all walks who agree with me and disagree with me, which makes it great because I don't know much of anything. I just know one or two things. But to hear people talk, I mean, we had a great time this past week with a lot of people talking this week, and it's great. Dr. David Green was on with us yesterday. We have a health show that we do, Healthy Mind, Healthy Indy, every Friday. We're talking about health issues. We're talking about young people as it relates to the violent acts of gun violence. And that's what we talked about Thursday. And we also talked about the mental illness piece that young people are struggling with as well.
Well, it's been amazing to see your development in media, your cadences and voice in radio and television and now podcasting has just been phenomenal. So
thank you.
Congratulations.
And thank you for the opportunity that was given to me so many years ago. And I tell people all the time, people say, why do you hang with Moore, Jackson? Because, and Moore, why do you hang with Jackson's been good to me? And
likewise.
Yeah. And you never abandon people who have been good to you. And they're easy to love. You never do that. You might not agree with everything Wayne Moore does, but you don't stop loving a person for that. And that's how I feel about you, Brother Jackson. I would not be behind a microphone if it were not for you.
I appreciate that.
You and the Lord Jesus the Christ.
Amen.
Yeah.
You're preaching this. We got Larry on the line. Larry, welcome to the program.
How you doing, Pastors?
Good.
Moore, Pastor Jackson?
Good.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? It is.
I'm just rejoicing in the Lord. You know why?
Tell me why.
Because the moon is invincible. I was looking through some of my books, and I found a Life magazine from 1972, right? And seeing how primitive those pictures were that they supposedly sent back to the moon, that the whole NASA program in which they went to the moon 11 times, what happened? They can't get back there because of the Orion Belt burns the spaceships up before they can leave the moon's atmosphere. So people are so gullible to the lies that have been told to us and spoon-fed to us over the years, like white supremacy and racism. I advise anybody to go to podcast Jason Whitlock on with Vincent Everett Ellison and get a description of what the civil rights was all about, movement was all about. Like George Wallace said in his speech, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 a hoax, a fraud, and a sham. It very well was. Now, George Wallace was on the board of trustees at the Tuskegee Institute, right? So I thought when I first researched him that he was some wild racist or something, but he was a very intelligent man who knew the situation that existed in the South and was trying to ease that pressure before the NAACP and the Urban League went down there and destroyed those people's homes and everything. When you see those people, they were working. They had their homes. They had their families. After the people came from the north and destroyed all that, and that's where all the lynching and dog sprays and everything came on. But Vincent Everett Ellison, I just advise you, Pastor Jackson, Pastor Moore, take a look at that. See the people that are lifting up for us to praise, like George Floyd. They know what he was, but they lifted him up anyway. The Democrats lifted him up as one of their idols, and they idolized him and went throughout this country, burning our cities and everything else down because the white people were behind all of it. So, you know, when you talk about white supremacy and racism, to me, it don't exist. No person is superior to you, but you look the race pimps, that's all they got. It's sickening to watch them on YouTube talking about how that the white people are better than us, how that we need to get their approval, how they need to say that we're free. Just like Martin Luther King, the first thing he said is over 5 times is in his I Dream speech that 2 communists wrote that you would be free to justice runs down like water.
Larry, got to wrap it up. We got to move on.
I wanted to say something about what Larry said as it relates to. I got time?
Go ahead.
The idea of pedestalizing George Floyd. I don't think that the country pedestalized him or promoted him in a way. I think what the George Floyd situation, it just woke up that which was somewhat taking a nap as it relates
on the issue of police brutality.
On the issue, yes, on the issue of police brutality, and I think it's important that we understand that. I mean, Attorney Lee mentioned on his show today about the 18 young people. This is when we talk about the shift in political
black leadership.
Black leadership. Yeah. Many years ago, black leadership would have spoke about that. But it's hard. They won't speak about it today. Most counselors are under a organized gag order, and so they won't even talk about the 18 lives that were lost, and the lady that is in second command that ran the Miss Cummins, who ran the academy. They won't talk about that. They won't talk about those things because they don't want to correct those things. They don't want to be accountable for those things. And I think in many cases when we look at this, it was not to pedestalize Mr. Floyd. It was to bring to the consciousness of the people, as they said, we have we think we've come further than we have, but we really haven't when it comes to some areas such as police brutality. And let's just be cognizant of the fact that when we look at this, there are some that might have succumbed that were justified, but there are a lot that were not justified out of 18 lives lost. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and that's why we still have a police issue in the city, and we'll always have a police issue in the city. And no police chief, whether they try, can make IMPD great again.
317-972.
Did you like that one? Did you like
that? It was interesting. 317-972-3008. 317-972-3008 is the number that you need to call to be connected to the show. Dr. Moore, we have quite a few more black leaders in Indianapolis than we've ever had before.
Yes.
If we turn back the dial on time.
Yes.
And some of these stalwart black leaders that have gone on, you had former, and we probably won't be able to call all the names, but Bill Crawford,
Julia Carson,
Glenn Howard.
You
had Bill Mays, So you're talking about government, you're talking about business, and you're talking about in media, Amos Brown, Al Hobbs,
Yes.
and just these great people who were in leadership, Sam Jones and some of the other giants in
Joe Summers. I have to
religion.
mention Joe Summers.
Yeah.
And so many others. I mean,
Sanders.
Yeah. It's a different political mindset now. It is a totally different political mindset.
So how do we navigate through this now? Because we do have Black folks in media, arts and entertainment, government, business, family, and education that are operating in leadership. I would like to see, and I haven't seen it, maybe it has happened and I just missed it, but I would like to see a convening of all of these different Black folks who are in significant places of leadership. And in fact, the energy utility here in Indianapolis is led by a Black man.
Yeah.
And
the new one is it
AES.
She's
formerly IPL.
Our sister's leading that now.
Is? Okay. When did that happen?
Recently,
okay,
I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I missed that one. But is it still a black woman?
Yeah, she's a sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And if that's we say Black woman, I say sister. You know, I'm old
Okay.
school. Yeah.
All right. But it still remains the same in that. And it will be wonderful because that's what they used to do many, many years ago. Of course, Bill Hudnut, who was mayor for a long time, he would convene all of these people.
Well, you got to understand, it is the old adage, and it has not went away. And that is, as long as we can keep each other separated, then people who control the oligarch dollars and other areas of our society are satisfied. And the ones that you mentioned, they came out of the grassroots community. And they knew the struggle of whom they represented. Most of these people who are, for instance, why would I vote for a charter school? Why would I vote and sit on a board and vote for a charter school? And charter schools are not, they're not 75, even 50% successful. Well, that's politics. You know, I have to support an administration. Many years ago, if some of those did not agree with the administration, they would not vote for those type of things because they knew the detriment that it would cause.
And they had the backing of the community.
Right, they had the backing of the community. Now they have the backing of big businesses. I mean, you know, the mine trusts, et cetera. So they have to adhere to what they tell them to do because they have kind of, in many cases, I hate to use the term, but they've sold something to them, whatever that might be. And it's detrimental to the community.
Let's get Marilyn in here. Marilyn, welcome to the program.
Well, how are you today, Pastor Jackson and Dr. Moore?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to say I really appreciate this conversation today because it is so true. I'm not as into the community as I want to be. I'm trying to change some things and get in to be more effective, but it's really hard because what you're saying is prevalent. People get in position and they may start out well, but then you see a shift and they change their position, they change their commitment, and they become silent on things that they were supposed to speak up or stand on. Or, you know what I'm saying? And they start to agree with the wrong things, and their representation then changes. And it's what you said. They were sold something. And so I'm just like, wow, I have to just get on there and say, I'm so glad to hear you speak that truth because a lot of people don't want to believe it, but it's so prevalent. You know, it's so prevalent in our community to watch our own take a position for something where they start out right, and then all of a sudden they shift. And I'm like, wow, it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. So we just got to do a lot of praying and believing, you know, that God is still in control. He's still sovereign, and that we got to pray for our leaders.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Marilyn. Praying for them.
Yeah.
And voting whether they should stay in those seats or not.
Yeah.
317-972-3008. We still have a little time left if you'd like to make a comment. And Marilyn's kind of talking about the shifting in commitment by Black leaders, along with the shifting landscape of Black leadership.
You know, I experienced some of that recently. And one of the movements is to get people who are elected officials to shift to the ideology of administration versus community, those who put them in. And some people who have been elected they just use the community to get elected, but they do the bidding of administration.
So that's government leadership, and you've got leadership in religion, you've got leadership in business, arts and entertainment, media, family, education.
Yes.
All of these are societal influencers.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we have the best people representing our community as possible. I think we got some great people in a lot of different positions. We didn't call any names. There are a lot of people who are doing effective work. But what I would like to see, and let me just say, we do commend IMPD in finally getting those badges, those commemorative badges out that'll be worn throughout the rest of March. And then I think Juneteenth, they will be worn as well.
Yeah, well.
But there's a lot of people doing a lot of great work who are Black in the city of Indianapolis, and we want to encourage them to do it. But I would really like to see a convening of all of these folks who are in Black leadership. I haven't seen it. Again, maybe it has taken place, maybe it is taking place. But if not, it would just be so wonderful to see the president of the city council, who is Black, the president of the utility, energy utility, and some of the other folks.
They are meeting. Those are
superintendents of schools.
Yeah, they're
well,
meeting.
They have a lot of Black superintendents of schools.
Yeah, they're meeting.
I think
a lot
Lawrence,
of them
Warren. What Pike Township is that?
Washington
Black
Township, Wayne Township. Pike is an Afro-American brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you got township trustees, a lot of people who are leading.
Yeah.
And it would just be wonderful to have some kind of a summit of all of these folks to talk about issues that are impacting Black life in Marion County. We're still last in household income, number one in homicides, and we lead so many other negative indicators in our city. It would just be wonderful to see a convening or a summoning of all of these different folks to down at the JW maybe, sponsored by a couple of businesses in town.
Yeah, it'd be
like
great.
the United Nations, if you will.
Yeah, it would be great. You
think so?
It would. I don't know what would come out.
The president of the Baptist Ministers Alliance, the president of the Concerned Clergy, and the president of Expo and NAACP and Urban League. I mean, it's just a lot of different Black civic organizations out there. But I would love to see that. You say you think it's a great idea. I wish and I hope that there will be other people who hear it. I'm just thinking about it. I've been thinking about it over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it is. It is needed. It is needed.
I'm not going to say God said.
Yeah, no. I'm just going to basically say that it's needed. Yeah, there's some things that we need to do from a basic standpoint.
Yeah, well, you have 18 young people.
Yeah. 18 Black men.
That's just the police action shooting.
Yeah, those just and that's not counting the homicides
and non-fatal shootings.
And then the emergence of teen gun behavior. You know, so it's so many things. And
juvenile violence.
Yeah, but you know, it was said the primary concern of this administration. It was said, and it's on tape.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
What they say?
It was economic development, and we see it.
We gotta go.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for joining us on today. Until next time, we like you, we love you, and you make us smile. Have a great Saturday.
Got a community issue or concern? Call now 239-1310 or go to praiseindy.com.
Good job, Rita. Thank you. You did, Miss Rita, right? Yes, sir. You did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Being in your presence has refreshed me.
And likewise, the Lord has refreshed me. Thank you.